Hi guys, you should have done this already, but just in case you have not, this is how you add a experience into your AET record book. So you're going to go to Journal, Project Experience Manager, and Add New. You are going to put in your project name, and you will always start with the project name year, because once you have multiples of these, it will be a lot easier for you to figure out what you have going on. Depending on what your project is, you will choose what the level or the focus is. For most of you, this is individual. However, if any of you are going to do the floral or the on-farm SAE, you are going to choose school-based. This right here tells you what level it is. If it is a research project, like you are learning about something all on your own, you're researching it, or you're doing an agri-science project, then it's research or experimental. If you have a job, is it paid or unpaid? And then if you have your own business that you're making, so some of you are doing salsa, some of you have a project animal, some of you are making things to be able to sell, that would be entrepreneurship. For the rest of you, it is foundational, like the on-farm SAE is a foundational SAE project. So you're going to choose the one that is correct for you. Here, you decide what area of agriculture is your project. For those of you who are raising an animal for the fair, it's animal systems. If you have a job, it's career ready practices. It could be just foundational. Foundational just stays with foundational. If you are growing something, like we're going out to the farm, it's going to be probably plant systems. So I'm going to do this as if we are doing a school-based one really quickly. So if it's foundational, you save it right there. If it's entrepreneurship and you have an animal, you have to choose what the animal is. And then here, head means just one, but none of us have breeding swine except for one or two people. For most of you, it is going to be market swine. And then the manager is the markets and replacement manager for those of you who are selling an animal at the fair and not breeding. Okay, save that. Then you will see it here. What you need to complete is next is the, is the plan. Each of these will be different for all of you. This is the most lengthy one. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all of this and you will copy and paste it in here. And you will fill in the blanks. When you fill in the blanks, erase the remaining lines, please, and the numbers. You'll have to take those out. And an outline of your project is basically just, hey, what am I doing with my project? What does it look like? What will I be doing every single day with it? Over here, time investment. If you have an animal project or an entrepreneurial project or a job placement, then your hours per week will be a lot different. For those of you who are doing this just for the class, then it will be a minimum of 20 hours between now and the end of May. You are going to want to take the whole thing of this one and copy and paste it in here and fill in all the blanks again. Financial investment. Not all of this applies to everybody. Just fill in what applies to you. If you are someone who is doing a research project, it will still ask you to fill out a financial investment. This depends. If you are going to have to buy anything to do your research, then you're going to need to include it here. If your project is just research, straight research, and you are going to be doing your presentation with, like, say, PowerPoint, then you have no financial investment. But you do not leave this blank. You need to put something in there that says, I am doing a PowerPoint presentation. I already own all of the items that I need. There is no financial investment. For those of you who have parents helping you pay for things, you need to put that in this spot where it says, my parents helped me pay for it and I will either pay it back or it's a gift. Finally, your learning objectives. So you are going to add at least 3 skill areas. With the skill areas, it goes along with whatever you put in for your SAE plan. So we did animal systems with this one, and so animal systems automatically comes up. So Down here, you will be able to add in whichever ones apply to you. These are very professional, language-oriented objectives. So if I were to analyze the nutritional needs of animals, what you're really doing is you're looking at your animal, and if it's not gaining weight the way that it's supposed to, then you're going to do something so that you can increase the weight. Well, you're going to have to do some research on that. You're going to use your industry tools, which are over here, and your industry tools would be your advisors, your breeder, or to do some research online. The same thing works for plant systems, which is what you would put in if you are going to be doing something out at the school farm. And our goals for that are to clean up the school farm and then just add in some trees and vines and make everything ready for the planter boxes in order to give us more utility for the school farm. For those of you who are doing floral, you'll need to talk to Miss Botterini about what your objectives should be for that. And so you just run through these and choose 3 or 4 that will encompass the entire project. For those of you who are in foundational skills, every single person needs to add this one, explore areas that interest me, because anything that's kind of general that you don't know what to put under that, you put under that one. Okay, so let's say we've added this one. Save and go back to the SAE plan, and now you see that the one that we added is here, and what you will have to do is fill out this box, and you will say how you will meet this learning objective. And then when you are done with that, you will save all and return. At that point, this little X right here should have a green check mark. And now you're going to go to your budget. This is not what you have actually spent. This is what you expect to spend at the beginning of the project. If you are a research person who is not spending any money, you still need to put a 0 there and say something like, this is, oops, see, capitalize, this is a research project only. And then that's it. And then you'll just save it. For those of you who are selling something, your cash and market sales are pretty much all that you are going to have as an income, unless you are somebody who takes your animal to jackpots and you're winning some premium checks or something like that. You do not have to fill out every single one of these boxes, just the ones that apply. Down here are your expenses for feed, medicine, supplies, repairs, maintenance, anything that you might need. Everybody should have rent wherever they are at. And if they don't, you need to explain why in your SAE plan in those 4 tabs we looked at before. And just so that all of you know, those of you who are buying an animal or those of you who are buying things at the store to make salsa, inventory for resale is where you would put the cost of that animal or those products, because this is inventory that you have purchased to turn into something to sell it someplace else. So inventory for resale. Okay. So when you are done with that, you will save it. And you need to have at least 1 financial entry or 1 journal entry, or both. By now you should have more. Okay, but for journal entries, you will click on that, new project activity, and then you will just fill this baby out. When you choose your dates, look at the week. If you were putting something in for the whole week, like let's say you worked with your animal every single day, you fed it every single day, there's no point in putting in 1 entry for every single day. So what you are going to do is you are going to choose the 15th, and then down here you're going to look at that calendar again and go, hey, the week was from the 9th to the 15th. So you're going to say February 9th, 9th through 15, and then you're going to say what those things were that you did that week every single day. The things that should have their own journal entries are things that are out of the ordinary. I bought my animal. I weighed my animal. I medicated my animal. I wormed my animal. Things that you don't normally do. If a advisor was with you when you did those things, you will need to choose one of us as the person who supervised it. You can add your pictures in it here if you want to. Later, I'll show you how to do it from your phones. You have to put in how many hours and minutes you worked on that, and it will ask you to choose an SAE skill. When you do that, if you click on project plan, it will pull up all of the skills that you already chose, so you don't have to look through them all again. You just choose the one out of the 3 or 4 that applies to this skill that you met doing this activity. You will save it when you are done. Oh, see. You will save it when you are done, and then you can review it in your journal entries right there. To put in a financial entry, you will go to financial entries, and this is not an income. You are spending money, so it is an expense. And you choose the date that is on the receipt. You will choose your vendor. Do not just put breeder, put the name of the breeder if you are buying an animal. You choose the experience. What did you spend the money on, and how much? This is a really great function if you have a receipt where you are splitting money between 2 projects, or you bought things like you went to the feed store or you went to the hardware store and you had to buy things for 2 projects, but it's all on one receipt. If you have a second experience, you can choose a second experience. What did you use it for? How much? You can also do, feed on this one, and then supplies like shavings, and then, oh, I bought my wormer too, and you say how much each of those things were, and then you can save them and split up the exact same receipt across the board. So it makes things go a lot faster. When that is done, you will be able to go back to your project manager, and it'll tell you that you entered in how many entries do you have. It'll also tell me how many pictures that you have. Please do not think that when I check this for your grade that I will just look for the check mark and the 1s and the 2s. I'm going to make you open it up and show me the tabs in the SAE plan to make sure that all of these are filled out completely. Okay, so that is everything, and I hope that this is very helpful, and have a great day.